Today's Wednesday, April 13, 2016, and you know what time it is.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It is great to be here. Yes, another Wednesday morning where we are living the dream, as some of my coworkers say. Every day they come in, living the dream, living the dream. Anyway, it is great to be here where we are alive and kicking. Man, I did not realize that when I announced on last week's show for those that were coming into Chicago for the NASA Central Regional Workshop last Friday, that the weather is going to be kind of iffy. Holy crud, man. I'm telling you, I woke up Saturday morning to snow on the ground, went to bed Friday night late, literally snow. It looked like a blizzard outside of Chicago. So, yeah, we've had some crazy weather here. I was kind of hoping that this might be the year that we would actually have a spring, but that seems not to be on the horizon in the Chicagoland's, future, unfortunately. So I have to fall back on my, what I normally say around this time of the year, that I'm just going to wait and hold out until the second week in June, where then I will know should stay warm by that point all the way into, hopefully September, maybe October. So yeah, no more thinking that it's going to get warm before it's going to get warm, although this weekend's supposed to be nice. But yeah, crazy weather. As some people say, that if you live in Chicago and you're tired of the weather, just wait 15 minutes and it'll change, which seems to be the case in the last, 2-3 weeks. So, but I hope everybody who did come in or attended the NASA Central Regional Workshop got a lot out of it, got your QEI or continuing education units in terms of credit, and you're good for another year. So that is great. And also those who attended the NAAC Spring Conference in Savannah, Georgia, hopefully everybody had a great opportunity to network, learn, and just take a break from work, which is kind of the idea behind it all. So I know that many of you that attended that probably needed it. So anyway, but back to reality as we are here on Wednesday morning. And if you're tuning in for the very first time, welcome. It's great to have you here. This is a weekly podcast where I bring you news and information that I scour online and bring it to you in a nice little prepackaged show format. Get over to our Facebook page, subscribe. That's where most of our content is posted. It seems to be the place that most people are checking out rather than, they're checking out the website too, but Facebook seems to be where everybody's tuned in to each week. Want to wish Julie P. from the wonderful city of Santa Cruz, California, happy birthday. Her birthday was on Monday, and I hope you had a great one. Looking forward to seeing you soon. All right, we're going to get into the show notes next and have you out of here in no time. And again, if you read a story or listen to it, please share it with coworkers if you find that it is of value, that it might help and benefit somebody else. And that's all I ask. You don't even have to cite the show. Don't even need that kind of recognition, so don't worry about that. Okay, up next we'll get into the news and have you out of here in no time.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
All right, first article, I want to remind everybody that the Chicago Elevator Association May second annual scholarship fundraiser is fast approaching. It's going to be held May 19th, 2016. You can sponsor, you can attend, you can register. It's all online through the link here. Great opportunity to give back to the industry that's been so good to all of us, and it's very inexpensive for an open bar, $65 per person. Come on out in May, and we look forward to seeing you. All right. Seems like the internet is just going very slow today. Next article, the Max Grablin Elevator Safety Act is now law in the state of Florida. I do not have all the details of what this act involves, but in general terms, in terms of what this article is talking about, is that any new elevator installed after July 1st, 2016 is going to require some kind of safety device that will shut the elevator down in the event that something or someone is in the hoistway itself. I think that's a good step in the right direction. Hopefully the Safety Act also, I wish it would address older equipment, to be honest with you, and looking at inspecting those devices as well, more than perhaps when they are first installed, if even that. So, and it might actually cover that. I'm not 100% sure, but the actual bill was not linked up in the show notes. But hopefully, all of us can prevent these kind of accidents from happening. There were two crazy escalator accidents that occurred last week. Fox 6 Now reported that man falls from escalator at Miller Park, lands on roof of Bernie Chalet. This is the baseball stadium at Miller Park. And just as a reminder, no matter how you feel or how the urge you might have to try to slide down anything, please don't do it. And because you do not want to be in the news. And 9 times out of 10, it ends tragically, which I have another article that shares another accident that occurred, which is not good. And it's really not good at all. So this gentleman's going to be okay, but he is in serious condition. Boy rescued after getting his foot trapped in an escalator. I'll let everybody watch the video. This is a home video footage. Or from a phone, you hate to hear, a young child crying like this. And just as a reminder, parents, please get off your frickin' phones. It's amazing how we are all connected. We are like zombies. I swear to you. It's like, just get off the phone, man. Go live life. Breathe the air outside. Look at the clouds. There's no reason we should be tied to our phones like we are. And if you have children, your attention away from them, looking at your phone, could cause something like this to happen. And it doesn't even have to, involve elevators or escalators. It can be anything. It can be whatever. So please get off your phones. Watch your kids. Make sure that they're safe. And accidents like this don't happen, okay? Scary. This happened in San Diego. Here's the other accident article I was talking about. North Carolina man falls to death sliding down escalator at New Orleans casino. Man. Please. I swear to you, my son has done this on normal stairs, not on an escalator. He's never done this, but I've seen him do this, and I've mentioned it on the show before. And I'm like, don't do that. It's terrible. You're giving your brothers a bad role model in terms of what to do, what not to do, and just it's unbelievable. So police are investigating. However, they do not figure that any foul play was at work. So yeah, man. You think alcohol has something to do with this? Man, I don't know. But come on, you're a grown man, for God's sakes. Why are you doing stupid stuff like this? Unbelievable. So, yeah, don't try to slide down a sticky handrail or something that's like rubber, because it's just going to end very, very badly. And did these kind of accidents happen in the past, or were we all do we all have better common sense? Is that what it is? Man, I don't know what it is, but if anybody has any insight on it, I'd love to hear from you. Okay. Beijing to launch elevator emergency response team and then also to conduct safety checks. It's about time, Beijing. I don't know what you were waiting for based on the photograph that's shown in the blog post, a news article. Perhaps, you might want to be looking a little bit closer at some of the elevators or lifts that are in your country and in your city, because holy cow, this looks like it could be in a housing, or worse than a housing authority anywhere in the country of the United States. So, okay, so great. Currently, these elevators are required to be examined thoroughly every 6 months. However, the potential safety hazards of old elevators cannot be eliminated only by checks and repairs. Okay. Anyway, perhaps something was lost in translation. It's coming from crenglish.com. All right, next news article. Safety benefits of MRL elevators. NEI, the Insider PDF newsletter. And if you haven't subscribed to that, go over to nei.org and you can go ahead and become an Insider member. So this is a kind of a press release article talking about shifting the focus to the overall safety benefits of MRL technology. I'll let everybody read that on your own, and some interesting statistics on page 2 you might want to check out. Talking about safety of MRLs. I always thought they were safe, and there's some good associations and links that also talk about, working on them, stuff like that. Not necessarily in the article itself, but they're definitely, on page 2 or 3 of the piece. Okay, I'm not sure why this quite made the news, but in Brownsville, the Herald reporting that a fire department investigates elevator complaint. I didn't think Brownsville was a really small city or town, but apparently it is. And since most elevators fall under the ultimate jurisdiction of the state fire marshal, maybe this is why they got called. But apparently the elevator was down, mainly because, not sure why, but let everybody read that on your own time. Okay, don't take pets. Just as a reminder, don't take pets on elevator or let wild animals ride. On escalators. This is a video of in a New York subway showing a rat trying to go down the up escalator and get stuck on the treadmill of life, whatever. This is coming from dailymail.co.uk. Again, if Great Britain or the United Kingdom is reporting on stuff like this, it definitely must be a slow day over in across the pond. All right, next news article. Okay, this is pretty cool. Converted warehouses seem to be huge in the Chicago area, and I can totally see why. Because if you check the photos out of this converted warehouse space to condo, it is pretty darn cool. It's actually got a freight elevator. I'm not quite sure if it works or not, but if you scroll through the photographs, it's probably a third or fourth one over. Love these doors that slide on the big tracks. Those are cool. Let's see here. Got an old ladder. Where's that elevator? It's got an old freight elevator. I'm not 100% sure if, in fact, it works. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't, but it's still cool to see. And it's nice to see buildings being repurposed like this, especially in any major metropolitan area. I know in Chicago, the meatpacking district is kind of going this way, which I think is good. It's some cool stuff. Okay, ITeam investigates a broken elevator. I just chuckled at this when I watched the whole thing because there's so many things to chuckle about. I do feel bad about the seniors in the facility who are basically stuck in their facility because the elevator's not working. But the ITeam at wwmtwestmichigan.com spent way too much time covering this article. And man, if I just can't. It was somewhat amusing just to listen to it. So I feel bad for the people that live in the building, obviously, but you think that it was a major accident or something based on the time they gave this piece. CJ Online, the Topeka Capital Journal, has an article talking about State House in Kansas City. Elevator bill gives Kansas a lift. I don't know why state legislators have time to even create a bill and then put the effort into signing it, but I thought it was a safety bill at first, and then I realized, no, it's not. It's actually a bill protecting the historic preservation of the cage lift in the state capitol building in Kansas, which was kind of interesting. What is even more interesting are the comments that linked to this article, because if you're like you and I who say, "Oh, this is great," old elevator preservation gets gets protected, it's safe, and then you start reading the comments, and holy cow, talk about some disgruntled people that live in Kansas. First one is phew. That is a relief. Phew. That is a relief. Another piece of an important business taken care of. I wonder what the budget ramifications are. You know what? So long, you don't want to know what the budget ramifications are because it costs a ton. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, keep reading this on because reading down the page, because like many of us who, in the back of our minds, think, you know what? Are you crazy? This is what the general public and taxpayers think. Isn't it crazy? Yeah, anyway. The wonderful world of comments on any kind of news blog piece. I still think it's cool no matter what people from Kansas think. Okay, serious news, switching to thestar.com. Police have released a video of a sex assault suspect. This is terrible. A woman was assaulted at gunpoint by a man who confronted her in an apartment building. Elevator, awful. I am so glad that there are security cameras where they are so that guys like this can be caught, if indeed this person is caught and brought to justice and found guilty, because my ultimate wish for people like this is that they go to prison and they become the wife of some huge dude that is just going to literally ream them out. That's what these kinds of people should have coming to them. Okay, apparently in Manila, in the Philippines, hospital elevator catches fire. When I first read this title, I'm thinking to myself, where in the world could this happen in the United States? Obviously, it didn't happen in the United States. It actually happened in Manila. Newborns were evacuated, thank goodness, and nobody was hurt. Blaze was quickly extinguished, thank goodness, and everybody was okay. And we're cruising through the content today. Next article, remember, if the elevator stops while you're in it, wait for help. Okay, so again, Central Michigan Life. I'm surprised this happened, where nobody tried to get out of the elevator, which typically happens. And remember, that could lead to death or injury. cm-life.com. People or person was trapped or in a stalled elevator or just there. And remember, that's the safest place for you to be for almost an hour. And that will unfortunately happen on occasion. And I'm glad that the person that was in the elevator stayed there, stayed put. That is a good thing. In the last news article of the program, lights used to direct escalator passengers in Moscow Metro. It's coming from the MoscowTimes.com. Check this out. This is pretty cool. I am, although I'm not quite sure what. Oh, that's what in the world? Okay. Anyway, look at the balustrades. Is that how you pronounce it? Probably not. In between the escalators, it's pretty cool. They've got these light pinions, and if that's going to prevent stupid people from sliding down the middle of these things, other than those little metal hockey pucks, maybe we need to go this route. These are pretty cool. Maybe not. It's probably not code compliant actually, and if you break it, might not be safe. But still, I think aesthetically it looks pretty pleasing. I don't know why this was necessarily direct a passenger up or down the escalator, but whatever. Scroll down the page here. And there's some other links. See also Moscow Metro to add 30 composting toilets for public use. Anybody ever use one of these, or they don't work very well, especially in a metro? It's basically an outhouse with a hole in the ground. Well, hopefully it's a little bit more industrial or quicker composting than most of the ones that you and I are familiar with. So I don't know. And that's going to do it for the show, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you saw an article or heard an article or read an article, you share it with your friends, your colleagues, your coworkers, all those good people, those you work with, and spread the word on safety. Make sure you go home each and every day. Your family is the most important thing to you, no matter what is going on at work, and no matter how many people are screaming at you. You need to get home to your family. That's number one priority, and remember that each and every day. All right, everybody, have a great rest of the week. Be safe out there. We'll talk to you next Wednesday, and have a nice weekend. Enjoy the weather if it's warm by you. Bye-bye.